Hey everyone, welcome back to Grow for Justice. Before we begin, tell me in the comments, where are you watching from right now? And if you love stories of courage, discipline, and heart, make sure you hit that subscribe button because today, I'm about to tell you a story that the Navy SEAL community still whispers about. A story about respect, redemption, and a man whose call sign became a legend. They called him Iron Ghost. But no one, not even the Admiral, knew the truth behind that name. Until the day Iron Ghost walked into the room and left everyone speechless. It started on a quiet morning at the Naval Special Warfare Command in Coronado, California. The Admiral, a seasoned officer named Admiral Hawkins, stood before a room full of SEALs. He was known for his sense of humor and his sharp tongue. He looked down at the personnel file in his hand and smirked. Next on the list, he said, "We've got a new instructor joining us. Calls himself Iron Ghost." A few of the SEALs chuckled. "Iron Ghost? What is that, a comic book name?" one whispered. Hawkins raised an eyebrow. "Iron Ghost. I hope he's tougher than his name sounds." Everyone laughed, but one man, sitting in the back, arms crossed, quiet, didn't laugh. That was Chief Petty Officer Jack Reynolds, the man behind the call sign. The man they called Iron Ghost. He just stared straight ahead, emotionless. Because he knew something they didn't. His call sign wasn't meant to be cool. It was born out of something no soldier ever wants to live through. Reynolds had been part of SEAL Team 6, one of the most elite fighting units in the world. He'd seen the worst of war. Afghanistan, Somalia, Iraq. He was a ghost, in and out before anyone knew he was there. But the iron part came later. It happened in 2015. During a classified operation deep in the mountains of Kunar province. Reynolds and his team were sent to extract an informant, a mission that went south fast. They were ambushed. Gunfire tore through the valley. One by one, his men fell. Reynolds was hit, shrapnel through his leg and arm. But he didn't stop. He dragged two of his wounded teammates to cover, applied tourniquets with one shaking hand, and returned fire. By the time reinforcements arrived, Reynolds was barely conscious. But his radio message, calm and clear under pressure, saved 4 lives. The medics later said it was a miracle he survived. The shrapnel left permanent damage, metal embedded in his bones. From that day on, the SEALs called him Iron Ghost. Iron, because of the metal in his body. Ghost, because death could never catch him. Back in Coronado, the Admiral hadn't met him yet. He just saw the name on paper. When Reynolds finally walked into the briefing room, the chatter stopped. He was taller than most, with quiet eyes, the kind of eyes that have seen too much. "Chief Reynolds," the Admiral said, still smiling. "So you're the famous Iron Ghost, huh?" Reynolds simply nodded. "Yes, sir," the Admiral chuckled. "That's quite a name. I hope you live up to it." Reynolds didn't react. He only replied, "With respect, sir. I hope I don't have to." The room went silent. The Admiral tilted his head. "Explain." Reynolds looked up. "Names like that don't come from victory, sir. They come from survival." The Admiral didn't have a reply. Over the next few weeks, the SEALs trained under Reynolds. He wasn't loud. He didn't yell or brag. But his presence commanded respect. Every morning before dawn, he was already on the obstacle course, moving with a limp, but never stopping. You could see the pain in his movement, but also the iron in his will. One day, during a particularly brutal session, a young recruit named Miller collapsed. "Get up!" another instructor barked. But Miller couldn't move. Heat exhaustion had hit him hard. Before anyone could react, Reynolds was already there. He knelt, checked Miller's pulse, and carried him, fireman style, 200 yards to the medical tent. When Miller came to, he saw Reynolds sitting quietly by his cot. "Sir, you carried me?" Reynolds smiled faintly. "We don't leave anyone behind, kid. Not even in training." That story spread like wildfire across the base. And the jokes about Iron Ghost? They stopped overnight. One morning, the Admiral called for Reynolds. "Chief, I want you to join me on an evaluation trip. We're reviewing a new special ops training program." Reynolds nodded. "Yes, sir." They flew out to Virginia. During a break, the Admiral finally asked the question that had been bothering him. "Chief, what really happened that made you Iron Ghost?" Reynolds paused. He didn't like talking about it, but after a moment he said quietly, "Sir, I lost my whole team in Kunar. I carried what was left of them out. The shrapnel didn't kill me, but it never left me either. The Admiral looked at him in silence. That's why I trained them hard, Reynolds continued. Because I know what it costs when we're not ready. The Admiral had no words. He simply nodded. From that day, the jokes ended for good. Months later, news came that a helicopter had gone down overseas, a team trapped, pinned down under fire. The Admiral called Reynolds. "Chief, we need someone to lead a rescue." "It's off the books. No time for backup." Reynolds didn't hesitate. "When do we leave?" Within hours, he was on a bird heading into enemy territory. Again. It was like history repeating itself. Except this time, he wasn't just surviving. He was leading. Through the night under fire, his voice stayed calm on comms. "Team Bravo, move east. Cover fire on my mark." They reached the crash site, pulled out every man alive. When they landed back at base, one of the rescued SEALs said, "I didn't think anyone could get to us." Then I heard a voice on the radio. Calm, cold, iron. The Admiral stood there watching Reynolds, mud-covered, exhausted, eyes hollow. He saluted him. "Ghost, I'll never joke about your name again." Reynolds simply nodded. "Appreciate it, sir." Weeks later, the Admiral spoke at a ceremony honoring the rescue team. He looked out at the audience, dozens of SEALs standing tall, medals shining. Then he paused. "I used to think call signs were just nicknames," he said. "But sometimes, they carry the weight of everything a man's been through." He turned toward Reynolds. "Chief Reynolds, Iron Ghost, and taught me something I'll never forget. That true strength isn't about muscle or medals. It's about carrying your ghost when still showing up." The crowd stood and applauded. Reynolds didn't smile. He just gave a small nod, then turned quietly, walking back toward the training field and where new SEALs were waiting. Because legends don't retire. They pass the torch, and that is the story of Iron Ghost, the SEAL who turned pain into purpose and earned respect without ever asking for it. If you believe in discipline, courage, and silent strength, then hit that subscribe button right now and join our community here on Grow for Justice. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from, and what does Iron Ghost mean to you? Until next time, stay strong, stay humble, and keep growing for justice.